Welcome to Appointing the Wise, a podcast where we discuss local politics, government, and philosophy so we can be wise and appoint wise men and women to be our representatives in government.
What I want is ownership.
Okay.
So you could have, in my mind, you could, and I don't know how, I'm not a real estate guy.
Right.
Or in real estate law.
Disclaimer.
But in my mind, even if you're in an apartment, there's condos in other big cities where there's ownership.
Where they own it.
Yes.
And they have ante into the community.
Exactly.
Because that's an asset they want
to
appreciate.
It's not so much, I mean, there is that aspect of ante in the community, but when you own your property, you have one, you're a lot more self-reliant, and you're starting to build wealth for your family. And that's what we're leaning into. It's not
ownership.
It's because we could go down to 3rd or 8th acre lots. As in my mind, as long as there's home ownership.
Okay.
Involved.
I think that's fair.
You know, so so that's why I don't go density.
Maybe density isn't the right measurement. It may be whether you own it and
I want home ownership.
There's a component there that maybe still of high density that I'm not getting at. But I think you're right. I think ownership is. I think it's fair.
And you look at back in the 1980s, you could buy a 3,500 square foot home for like $80,000. Having lived in the 80s and only making $600 every 2 weeks, that's a big matzo ball. But here we are nowadays, it's way bigger. I mean, everyone touts townhomes, but townhomes are as much as single-family dwellings on your own lot because of the prices of land and construction costs. And so I could see where we zone the density gets higher, but not so much apartments. But instead of half acre, quarter acre, third acre, half acre, you're down to like 1/8 of an acre, and it's a smaller home.
Okay.
But it's someplace that somebody just coming out of college gets their first job. They're not thrown into $1,200 a month rent. They're thrown into $800 or $900 or $1,000 in home ownership, where they may not be able, because of the size, to be able to build equity by making the home larger, but by staying there until they have the first kid, they're paying down that mortgage and building some equity as well as probably some value as time goes, because everything goes up in value, it seems like.
Yeah, I can see how long it's been since you've had to rent or buy a home. I was like, man, I would kill for a mortgage.
Well, I know that there's some apartments up on Main Street that were new built, and they're like $1,400.
Right. Yeah. There's people who pay.
Yeah. But no, you're right. If you're buying something for $450,000, you're well into the $2,000 a month or even more.
Yeah.
With the interest rate the way it is.
With the interest rates. Blessed by divine providence, I was able to get it while I was 3, but I couldn't afford a home.
No, you're right. So so I think by going
so ownership. I like that.
That's what we're leaning into. And
so is that like the Blue Heron neighborhood that's coming up on 1100? I think there might have been another one.
Yeah,
that's actually, those are owned. Those are not rentals. It's not an apartment setup.
It's not the developer that is building something that he owns and is then going to rent.
Okay.
What you can't legislate is a Caleb Barker investing in townhomes. He owns them now. He didn't build them, and then renting them out. That you can't legislate.
Okay, right. Yeah, if I have the money to do that, I'm a free man.
Yeah,
it's a free country, more or less. So, okay, and
you really can't on the developer either. But that's what we're leaning into. When people come in and they say, "Hey, there's a development, and it's mixed with business and some high density."
What kind of high density? As much as we have a say in that.
Well, whatever the zone is.
Seems like at that point we don't get to make it.
Whatever the zone is.
We don't really get to control. Maybe that's what it is we can't control whether there's ownership there or not.
Right. We encourage it.
We encourage it. But we can control high density, and it's hard to build high density housing, or it's hard to build an apartment on an acre where you can only build one house.
Yeah, because it's one thing to put the building there, but then there's parking requirements, there's all of that as well. So
Thank you for listening to the Appointing the Wise podcast. You can find more information on my Facebook page, and if you found this helpful, give it a thumbs up and leave a comment. And if you didn't think it was helpful, still leave a comment. I'd love to hear your feedback on how things can be improved. Remember, get informed, get involved, and turn to the Lord in all things. Cheers.